Have you ever taken your car to a mechanic and felt like you have quite literally threw money away? I'm talking about the $100, $200, sometimes even $300 for simple jobs that take 10 minutes and require zero mechanical experience. If that sounds familiar, congratulations. You've been introduced to one of the most expensive magic tricks in the automotive world. And no, the trick isn't fixing the car. The trick is making you believe you couldn't have done it yourself. Don't get me wrong. Skilled mechanics deserve every dollar they earn when they're rebuilding engines, diagnosing electrical nightmares, or replacing transmissions. But there are plenty of jobs that somehow cost luxury car money while requiring nothing more than 10 minutes. Hack number 1, replacing your engine air filter. Let's start with this one that quietly empties wallets every single day. You'd be surprised how many people pay a shop $40, $60, sometimes over $100 for this job. Here's the reality. On most modern cars, opening the airbox takes less than 2 minutes. Usually it's held down by a few clips or a handful of screws. Pop it open, lift out the old filter, drop the new one in exactly the same way, and close it back up. That's it. No computer reset, no secret mechanic handshake. Just a fresh filter that helps your engine breathe properly. A clogged filter can reduce performance and fuel economy, especially if you drive on dusty roads. Spending $20 on a quality replacement instead of paying a shop triple that amount is one of the easiest wins you'll ever get. The mechanic isn't charging you because it's difficult. They're charging you because you didn't know how simple it was. But if you thought that was easy, wait until you hear about our next hack about maintenance item that's responsible for countless unnecessary battery replacements. Hack number 2, cleaning your battery terminals before buying a new battery. Your car struggles to start. The dashboard flickers like it's auditioning for a horror movie. Someone immediately says, "You need a new battery." Maybe. But maybe your battery is perfectly healthy and it's simply struggling to pass electricity through terminals that look like they've been dipped in blue cheese. Corrosion builds up over time and acts like a roadblock for electrical current. Disconnect the battery safely, clean the terminals with a battery cleaning brush or a mixture of baking soda and water, dry everything thoroughly, reconnect the cables tightly, and suddenly your car behaves like nothing was ever wrong. You've just saved yourself the cost of replacing a battery that still had years of life left. Batteries deserve retirement after years of loyal service. Not because nobody bothered to clean their shoes. Now that we've saved your battery, let's save something else that's probably making your nighttime driving far more dangerous than you realize. Hack number 3, restoring cloudy headlights instead of replacing them. If your headlights look like they've spent 10 years smoking cigarettes, don't panic. That cloudy yellow appearance usually isn't because the headlight is dying. It's because the outer plastic has been attacked by sunlight, road grime, and oxidation. Dealerships sometimes recommend replacing the entire headlight assembly, which can cost several $100s each. Instead, buy a quality restoration kit. Wet sand the surface according to the instructions, polish it until it's crystal clear, and most importantly, finish with a UV sealant. That's the step many people skip, and then they wonder why their headlights become cloudy again a few months later. It's like washing your car and then parking it under a flock of birds. You're only doing half the job. Spend $20 instead of $800, improve your visibility, and make your car look years younger. Speaking of things that make your car look older than it really is, let's talk about something that annoys almost every driver eventually. Hack number 4, bringing faded black plastic trim back to life without replacing it. Those faded mirror covers, bumper trims, and wheel arch plastics can make an otherwise beautiful car look exhausted. Some people spend hundreds replacing perfectly good trim pieces simply because they've turned gray. Here's the smarter move. Clean the trim thoroughly, use a dedicated plastic restorer, apply it evenly, and allow it to cure properly. Quality restorers penetrate the plastic instead of simply coating the surface with oily shine. The result is darker, richer-looking trim that lasts months instead of days. Your neighbors will think you bought new parts. Let them believe that. Sometimes mystery is cheaper than honesty. Now let's move under the hood for a hack that doesn't just save money, it can save your engine. Hack number 5, checking your fluids once a month instead of waiting for warning lights. Here's something most people don't realize. Warning lights are usually late to the party. By the time your oil pressure light comes on, Your engine isn't politely asking for help. It's screaming. Once a month, spend 5 minutes checking your engine oil, coolant, brake fluid, and windshield washer fluid. That's less time than scrolling through social media while pretending you're only checking one notification. Catching a slow coolant leak early could save you from overheating. Spotting low oil before it becomes critical could save your engine from catastrophic damage. The most expensive repairs often begin as the cheapest problems imaginable. Hack number 6. Silencing those mystery rattles before they drive you insane. Every car eventually develops that mysterious rattle that only appears when you're driving over the exact bump that engineers apparently forgot existed. Many owners pay diagnostic fees only to discover a loose plastic panel. High-density foam tape placed between vibrating panels often eliminates the noise completely. Replace broken clips if necessary, secure loose trim properly, and suddenly your cabin becomes peaceful again. It's amazing how much smarter your car feels when it stops sounding like someone trapped a tambourine inside your dashboard. Since we're talking about things people ignore until they become disasters, let's discuss something hiding under your tires. Hack number 7. Checking tire pressure with your own gauge instead of trusting your eyes. Here's a shocking fact. You cannot accurately judge tire pressure just by looking at a tire. A tire that's dangerously underinflated can still appear perfectly normal. Underinflated tires reduce fuel economy, increase tire wear, compromise handling, and generate excess heat, which is exactly what you don't want during long highway drives. Buy a quality digital tire pressure gauge for less than the price of lunch. Check your tires when they're cold and inflate them to the pressure listed on the driver's door sticker, not the number printed on the tire itself. That's the tire's maximum pressure, not the recommended operating pressure. It's one of those tiny details that separates informed drivers from people wondering why they're buying new tires every couple of years. Hack number 8. Spending 2 minutes inspecting your car every time you wash it. Sounds boring? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. While you're cleaning, glance underneath for fresh leaks. Look at your tires for uneven wear. Check your windshield for tiny chips before they become massive cracks. Inspect your wiper blades. Open the hood and look for anything unusual. Cars almost always give warnings before they fail. The problem is that most owners never bother looking. Preventive maintenance isn't glamorous. Nobody brags about discovering a loose hose clamp before it caused an overheating problem. But they definitely complain when they're stranded on the side of the highway, waiting for a tow truck that costs more than their monthly streaming subscriptions combined. Hack number 9. Stop paying for new windshield wipers every year. Just replace the rubber inserts. Here's a little secret that many drivers never hear. When your windshield wipers start streaking, most people rush to the auto parts store and buy an entirely new set. But in many cases, the metal or plastic wiper frame is perfectly fine. The only thing that's worn out is the thin rubber blade doing the actual wiping. Instead of replacing the whole assembly, replace just the rubber insert if your wiper design allows it. It's cheaper, creates less waste, and takes only a few minutes. Even if your car uses beam-style wipers that require the whole blade, cleaning the rubber regularly with a damp microfiber cloth and a little rubbing alcohol can dramatically extend its life. A 2-minute cleaning could save you $30 or $40 every year while giving you clearer visibility whenever it rains. Hack number 10. Stop riding around with junk in your trunk. Here's a hack that costs absolutely nothing, yet most drivers ignore it every single day. Take a look in your trunk. Chances are you'll find old gym bags, forgotten toolboxes, bags of sand from last winter, empty water bottles, sports equipment, or enough random junk to survive a zombie apocalypse. Every extra pound your engine has to carry requires fuel. While a few items won't make much difference, carrying 50 to 100 extra pounds day after day absolutely adds up over thousands of miles. More weight also puts additional strain on your suspension, brakes, and tires. Unless you're preparing for the end of civilization, your car doesn't need to carry your entire garage. Keep only the essentials: a spare tire, jack, emergency kit, jumper cables, and a small tool kit. Everything else can stay at home until you actually need it. Your engine isn't a moving company. Stop making it work overtime for cargo you forgot was even there. Mechanics reality check. Here's what's fascinating about every hack we've covered today. None of them require expensive equipment, advanced mechanical skills, or years of experience. They simply require knowing what to look for. That's the real difference between drivers who constantly complain about repair bills and those who seem to keep their cars running for years without breaking the bank. The people who save money aren't necessarily better mechanics. They simply notice small problems before they become big ones. They replace a $20 part before it destroys a $2,000 component. They spend 10 minutes inspecting instead of 10 hours waiting in a repair shop. They understand that owning a car isn't about reacting to problems. It's about staying one step ahead of them. Now, don't misunderstand me. This isn't an invitation to rebuild your transmission on your driveway with nothing but optimism and a YouTube tutorial. Know your limits. Leave complicated engine work, brake overhauls, suspension repairs, and electrical diagnostics to qualified professionals. But don't let anyone convince you that changing a filter, cleaning battery terminals, checking fluids, restoring headlights, or inspecting your own vehicle requires some secret automotive degree. It doesn't. It requires curiosity, a few affordable tools, and the willingness to learn. So here's my challenge. Before you book your next service appointment, ask yourself one simple question. Is this something I could do myself in 15 minutes? You might be surprised by the answer, and your bank account will definitely notice the difference. If you want to keep your vehicle running reliably without the dealer markup, make sure to subscribe. I have several other series coming up that will save you even more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Mechanics Reality Check, where we separate genuine automotive advice from expensive myths and turn everyday drivers into smart car owners.